from Summer of Solutions Chicago. Let's go Chicago.
I'm Gabriel Solis from the Summer Solutions Chicago. Hello, that's what I got.
We're here to talk a little bit about our program and what we do in Chicago as a local team. So our team was founded in the summer of 2011. We had previously had a youth garden education program in the summer before that, but teamed up with Grand Aspirations in the summer of 2011 to run a summer training for youth that would be involved in several green economy projects, focusing primarily around food and around youth empowerment for children and for young adults in the community. Some of the things that we did in the first year, we taught gardening classes to children ages 5 to 12. We taught 30 children how to grow food from seed to harvest. We also experimented a little bit with cooking and food preparation with young children. That project took place at the United Church of Rogers Park, which is one of our main partners, and that's the location where we do a lot of our activities out of. Another project that we worked on in the summer of 2011 was a rain garden program. We're working with a great community partner, the Center for Neighborhood Technology. We work on getting more people in the community to take the rainwater out of the stormwater treatment system and put it back into the land through rain gardens, and also back into the water use on landscaping through rain barrels and other water harvesting practices. The third project that we worked on last summer was a yard share. So we have a really small amount of open space in the community and very little instances of vacant urban land that could actually be used to grow food on. To give you an idea of that, our children's garden program is right in the front yard of a house owned by the church, and it's 96 square feet of growing space. We teach 30 kids on it, we make it work, but there's not a lot of open land. So the yard sharing project is focused on getting neighbors in the community that have extra land in their backyards to give us an opportunity to grow food on land that they might not otherwise be using. Last year we grew food on 650 square feet in a backyard, which is almost 7 times larger than our pre-existing space. And we're hoping to really expand that project this year to include more yards and get more community members exchanging on a land to people kind of basis.
I was not here last year, however I am here this year. And I guess I got involved because I started working on the rain garden project this last fall, and I'm very interested in rain gardening, the rain gardens and like water harvesting, because I'm from the desert, from the Chihuahua desert, and we are in a serious water crisis. So I'm trying to learn as many skills as I can in that field. But also I guess I'd like to kind of change like life itself, and I feel like the Summer Solutions offers that means of doing that. I think we're introducing kind of mechanisms and systems that can really bring people back into their own life world, into their own like local ecology, and produce new ways of living and interacting with one another. So I'm hoping that we can expand the rain garden program, keep doing the yard sharing, and anything else that's weird and interesting that we can accomplish in Rogers Park. So.
Some of the things that I'm most excited about in our program and around things we've accomplished in the past is that we've been teaching kids in the community how to grow food for 2 years now. And every single day that we're in the garden with the kids is like a miracle for them. Like we could dig up worms every single day, and it would be a non-stop event of an extravaganza of having fun in the garden, getting their hands in the dirt. I see a lot of times when the children are working together, and it's different for me from a tutoring program that I've worked in, where kids are kind of competing in a lot of games and not cooperating, and you stole this from me, I want that back kind of interactions. And in the garden, it's like they're so entranced in what's in front of them and this miracle of life that's taking place in the plants and in the soil, and they just want to dig in, and they find something interesting. They don't covet it. They say, hey, come over here, check out this worm. This is my new discovery for the day. With the kids are really the central focus of our program, and they're kind of I want to say they're the soul of the program. They're the piece that started us going, and from working with the kids is when we decided that if we're going to improve their after school activities, that we should be working with their families to improve things after they go home. And so I'm really excited to continue working with the kids, to bring them out to our chicken coop and get those opportunities, solid from year to year, but also to start reaching out to their families with our yard sharing and making opportunities for the kids that really are interested in gardening to bring their family into it in some other space in the community. I'm going to be raggedy for a second and think of a statement that I want to say to you. Kids, dirt, having fun.
That was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, kids, dirt, having fun.
Kids, dirt, having fun. Acceptable.
You say something, I'm going to think of.
Dirt and children. I think that they should get along more.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the society, the kids, they have, me too, we have McDonald's and we have plastic. I think we need to reintroduce ourselves to dirt and waste and matter and these kinds of things. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get your hands dirty. You can work with us. If you're young, if you're old, it doesn't matter.
I think that's really true. Our program has started with kids, but through the Summer of Solutions, we're bringing in young adults that both work with the kids and work on other projects in the community. And the theme is connecting to opportunities to both interact with nature and interact with creating some kind of positive community development opportunity in the neighborhood. There are a lot of benefits of having gardens in the community that go well beyond the economic benefit of producing an income or the benefit of eating healthy food. There's a lot of just things that you can't quantify, like just people getting out and enjoying the outdoors and being in a place that's we garden in our front yard, so kids are out in the public, we're out in the public, and we meet our neighbors that way by just being outside and gardening. I want to talk about our community partner. So the garden program got started in 2010 because the church really wanted it. They had asked. I was working in an educational program at the church, and the deacon knew I had an environmental background, and so he said, "Hey, do you think that you could start a garden program on this tiny plot of land with a small amount of money?" And I had been doing it for a couple of seasons, growing food. It sounded like a cool thing to do, and that why not just try to do it? But it's become the church has become a really valuable partner because they've been supporting us from day one, and they've been supporting our growth from day one. They have a lot of priorities along the lines of youth development that go well beyond the age group that we work with. And so anytime that we can come to the table and say, hey, we are thinking about engaging 12 to 15-year-olds, or we just got this idea to work on a high school program, the church is more than willing to offer the resources in terms of space, places to meet, offices, connections with local high schools. They're really a great asset to our program in the community. They have a lot to offer. You're hoping to get into if you don't.
Yeah. Well, I can say something that I think that Summer Solutions can offer, and that's personally I come from a background where I'm very critical of capitalism, and very critical of the society that we live in as of now. But up to this point, much of what I've been saying has been really theoretical. And I think that theoretical criticism is very important. We need to oppose things that we do not agree with. But I think that the Summer Solutions gives you the opportunity to actually create living, breathing models for alternatives. So if you have a problem with the way this world is right now, then you should work with people that are like-minded and try to make something better. And you can create spaces of dissent, but also productive spaces of dissent. Places where we disagree, but we're also producing something. We're not just fighting against something, we're working for something. So I think that's something that this program can offer people.
I think that's really true, and that's a lot of the background that I came into it from, was being involved in political advocacy work, working with youth coalitions on environmental issues and trying to convince decision makers that they should change society, that we have a climate crisis, so I should call my legislator and tell my legislator that he or she has to do something about it, and network with other youth around the country to make that message heard. But we saw over and over again with climate policy in this country that there's not really a lot of progress happening on the federal level, and there's even negative progress happening. We're going backward in things in terms of continuing to have to question whether or not we're going to bring a new pipeline into the country, or whether or not we're going to start fracking for natural gas instead of leaving people's groundwater intact. Or blowing up mountains in Appalachia, which was an issue that really struck a chord with me a few years ago. So I think that Summer of Solutions is sort of this creative response of if we do not feel, if I don't feel empowered lobbying and doing what I sort of have been conditioned to believe is like my only avenue in this democracy, is to take the problem and externalize it and say this is something that someone more powerful than me has to do something about. But if I can turn that around creatively and think like, well, I shouldn't accept the inability of politicians to do something as defeat, but instead should say, well, maybe I could roll up my sleeves and do something about it. I might not be able to end fossil fuel subsidies as an individual, but what we can do in community is create a model of what it would look like if we were to put all of our energy and intentions into creating a new energy economy. That's the thing that pumps me up the most about it, is that we can come into the room every day and say, we're not doing everything, but we're doing something, and we're doing something that has tangible impacts, and you can talk to members of the local community and get positive feedback that what we are producing is both beneficial to the neighborhood and also is bringing in a new type of relating for people to each other and also to the natural world. So this is the second year that we've hosted a January gathering in Chicago, and it is always a very rewarding experience. It's a lot of work to put it on, but to have people from our network come in from a lot of different cities and come and see some of the stuff that we're doing on the ground here, and to be able to sort of show that as like, this is what I'm talking about in conference calls, and I want your feedback, or to be able to just share that, you know, I've been to other cities and seen what other people are doing, and that's really a powerful experience for me as well. And I think to have that opportunity, even though it's all covered in snow, to say this is where our garden is, it has a tangible impact, I think, in terms of our organizing. So the January gathering is a really exciting opportunity for our organization to come together and for program leaders to meet each other from across different programs and exchange ideas and exchange information on how they've done different solutions in their communities. But it's also a really good chance for us to do things like share our talents and share our musical abilities or our poetry or whatever it is that makes us inspired to do this work, and to get to know each other and build community in the process. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to host the January gathering, and I hope that we keep doing it in Chicago for as long as people want to come back.